Hey there, health coach. Are you someone who loves to connect and relate to your clients? Do you naturally love to talk about yourself and are always searching in your mind to find a connection or relatable experience that you want to share with your client? And do you maybe worry that sometimes perhaps you overshare and talk a little bit too much about yourself? Well, if this is you, then you'll want to listen in today as I'm going to clarify with you what is enough sharing and what is too much. So I've got 4 tips for you that will help you avoid oversharing. So for many of us, we have a natural tendency to want to connect, relate, and share our personal stories with our clients. And in normal conversation with friends and family, we like to give examples from our own lives that relate to what they are sharing because it lets them know that we understand, that we get it, and it does create a connection. It develops rapport and trust in the relationship. Well, the same is true in a coaching relationship. It is important that we establish that rapport, trust, and connection in the very beginning so our clients feel comfortable opening up and sharing with us. It's nice to know that you're understood and heard. It's really comforting to know that your coach gets you and can relate to your situation. But once that initial rapport and trust and connection is established, you don't have to keep sharing and relating continuously. If you keep doing this, then it really feels like it becomes all about you, the coach, and not about your client. And so while connection, trust, and rapport are great coaching skills and competencies, other ones like being client-centered, letting the client lead, and supporting their process and experience becomes more important to the client's success. So I hear lots of new coaches sharing 2, 3, 4 times during a 20-minute coaching demo. Almost every time the client shares, the coach comes back with a personal reflection, a story, an incident that relates to what the client just shared. And what happens is that this shifts the focus from the client and their experience to you, the coach, and your experience. It breaks the flow and the energy of the coaching process. So the bottom line here is that 99% of the time, it is unnecessary to share personal details and stories. And instead of creating rapport, trust, and relatable moments, you are likely stifling the client's progress. So now I want to share with you my 4 tips on how to break the habit of oversharing so that you can stay client-centered. Tip number 1, when the client is speaking and you feel yourself going to the files in your mind to search for those stories that relate to your client, stop and abandon ship. For me, I really start to notice this sort of icky feeling in my gut. I can sense that I'm about to verge into unnecessary territory. And also watch for the I language. If you use a lot of I think, I love, I like, and you start your reflections with these, then likely you are staying in your own experience rather than the client's. So tip number 2, remember the acronym WAIT, W-A-I-T. Why am I talking? Are you sharing to feed your own ego and talk about your own story? Or is it truly to support the client in deepening their experience? Because when you shift the energy onto you, they will likely lose momentum, energy, and come out of their own process and they start to think about you. So in this moment, ask yourself, am I talking to gain approval and have my client like me or think I'm great? Am I talking to be overly helpful and rescue the client? Am I talking to gain control and take charge of the situation? Am I talking to complain about my own personal situation and collude with my client about what they're going through? And then check in with yourself. What's my intention behind what I'm about to say? Where's the energy coming from? Will this personal share truly aid and assist the client in moving forward? Will it help them have an insight, an aha moment, or a breakthrough? Or is it simply because you don't know what to say or ask in that moment? Or is it your need to share an attempt to divert the attention back to you? So those are some things to think about in that moment when you're about to share. So tip number 3, use your reflections. So instead of immediately thinking of a personal story and putting the focus on you, the coach, Use your reflections to keep things client-centered. Instead of saying, what I love about that, or that happened to me too, or this one time at band camp, or I can totally relate. Instead, say, so what I just heard you say was, or it sounds like, or I'm hearing. This will keep you tracking with the client and keep you in their shoes versus coming back to your own life. And also be okay with the silence. If your tendency is that you don't know what to say, instead of filling in the space with your own personal share, just be, hold the space, and see what else the client might come up with. Usually there's more there. And then after your reflection, you can follow up with a high mileage question that takes the client deeper into their own experience. And then tip number 4, as coaches, we really need to do our own work and to become aware of our own patterns and habits in order to support our clients well. So if you have this tendency to talk about yourself a lot and share your own personal stories, give your thoughts and opinions, there may be a need to do some work. Something maybe needs to be done to help you be fully present, grounded and centered, so that you can hold clear and neutral space and not be influenced by your own biased thoughts and opinions. So let's just recap. 99% of the time, there is no need to share a personal story, a thought, or opinion during a regular coaching session. Whenever you feel the urge to share something personal about you, just stop, abandon ship. And remember the acronym WAIT. Why am I talking? And then use your reflections. Be okay with the silence and ask a good high mileage question. And then finally, do your own work to understand where this need to speak and share and chat is coming from. So if you follow these tips, you will definitely be a more client-centered and empowering and co-creative health coach. So I hope these tips were helpful. If you are an oversharer, I'd love to hear what other strategy you use to sort of hold back. Please tell me those in the comments, and I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you're interested in deepening your coaching skills and to get some practice coaching, the waitlist for my Health Coaching Essentials Course and Skills Lab, which is happening this May and June, is open. So check out the link below to get on the no obligation waitlist. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.